The following is a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.
From the birthplace of modern winemaking, Sonoma, California, welcome to The Winemakers. Local experts Sam Couture, Bart Hansen, and Brian Casey, along with host John Myers, invite you to listen in as they discuss all facets of winemaking. So sit back, pour yourself a glass, and let's hear what the guys have to say this week.
Wow, there you go.
Nailed it.
There was expertise. There was expertise.
There was a demonstration prior to that.
That was a cork in the road pour, man. That was beautiful.
Did I do okay?
That was Atlanta on the Chenin Blanc.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, everybody,
that was a
welcome.
lot of pressure.
Welcome to the Winemakers. I'm John Myers. Today we are with Sam Couture, Bart Hansen, and Brian Casey. Our special guest today is Kelly Cornett from A Cork in the Road. You are a wine educator and tasting event consultant, and obviously you do a lot more too. So welcome to Sonoma today.
Prolific wine podcaster.
Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't updated the business cards since the podcast. I think I need to add that on there.
New business cards. Ryan, you want it? Okay. New business cards, right?
That's not digital, though. He could take care of the
digital side, okay.
Digital side of the business card,
so
right?
Confused.
Welcome to Sonoma. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
It's a great deal.
Oh, this is crazy.
Love to meet you.
This is serious business. Your setup here is podcasting times 100. This is the best situation, and probably more bottles of wine than microphones. So I think we're doing this right.
That's on brand.
Totally on brand.
Kelly, your cat Flynn looks exactly like my cat Davy.
Oh my gosh, do I have cat hair on my coat? Is that how you know I feel like I probably do.
I looked at your Instagram account. I'm like, that looks exactly like my cat.
Orange cats are the best. Can we just agree on that? Yeah, they are the best. They're absolutely perfect. I was like, I probably have a coat on because the dog and the cat travel with us, and they're orange. So if you're wearing dark colors, you're bringing your fur kitten, your fur, everything's coming with you.
Travel with just the fur travels.
Just the fur travels.
Yeah.
Yes.
The dog and the cat aren't like waiting back in the hotel room.
No, unfortunately, but Rooney would love it. Driving here today, seeing all of the mustard and the vineyards and stuff, and I'm like, and then you pass the sheep, and you're like, that is what a corgi would love to do, romping around in those vineyards with the sheep and the cows.
Will you please do us a favor?
We're corgi people here, John.
Oh my God.
Two. You can't just have one.
This segment brought to you by Corgis.
Two rescue corgis. There are 5th and 6th. We had them in Chicago and out here. So Molly and Harry.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Harry's a barker.
I'm going to have to meet them.
Harry's made several appearances on the show.
There are a lot of corgis in wine country, and last year we were actually reminiscing about this. We were up in Healdsburg, and we were tasting at Jolie Lade, and there was a little... Oh, yes, ding. Okay, that's awesome.
We like
because
Jolie Lade.
That means that you
when
said
listeners become guests.
You actually said something correct. I love this. You got a ding. But yes, we were Jolie Lade, and then the little corgi that came out was 17 years old, and she's just romping around the tasting room, and I was so excited. I was like, we are in a good place because there's a beautiful little corgi on the ground. So you know the wine is going to be great because there was a corgi.
Corgis are good. They're low to the ground,
Right.
Quick.
Gopher hunters?
I don't know. Are they gopher hunters? I was going to say they're low to the ground.
Treat and affection hunters?
They are not mousers, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Kelly,
They're cute. That's what they are.
So will you do us a favor before you guys leave, though? We'll get to what the hell you're doing here. But will you take a picture in some mustard and post it on your Insta and tag us for the Sonoma people love seeing pictures of people out in the mustard.
Am I going to have to pull off to the side of the road to do this?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
And leave your car partially on the road.
Yeah, the more dangerous and inconvenient it is for everyone else around you, the better the Instagram.
Trance along in the fields. Yes.
And
yeah, Ryan, can you get a video of that? That'd be amazing.
Ignore any no trespassing signs. If you see Will Buckland, tell him we said it was okay.
Right. Or whoever you see, just tell him we said it was okay.
Just really make a scene.
Totally, 100%. Okay, that's the mustard vibe.
I got it. I can make this happen.
And the thing is, it's maybe beautiful. A little early for it, so you'll be ahead of the curve.
It's just starting to pop.
Right.
So you're saying I'll have the first person frolicking in a mustard picture of the season.
Yeah, perfect. Totally.
Excellent.
Yeah. It is beautiful. You got to do it. It's fun.
it's beautiful because when we were driving here, it's like everything is glowing. And then I just think about it, like it just makes the whole valley alive. And then like this is why things like to grow here. To me, it just shows me just like this vibrancy of everything. So you're like, oh, I'm in wine country in the spring, and it's pretty magical.
Totally, it is. The rain that we suffered through December and January has made it so like extra verdant, and like the tone of the green is just in like when you like turn the saturation up on your Instagram picture, it's totally what's going on there. we don't no need for the saturation edit, right?
You filter your picture, Sam.
You got to
soften,
sharpen and soften.
I don't even post pictures anymore. Just ones I'm not supposed to post.
Right. Just cynical things.
Yeah, just cynical things.
So
you say that, but you're really good at your Instagram page. You get
Thank
some
you.
really good pictures. So you can say that all day, but I'm like, oh, Sam, like.
Well, it's the places, it's the places. So.
all right, let's do an official.
Oh, who the hell are we
intro
talking to
today? Because Kelly has her own podcast, that
A Cork in the Road.
A Cork in the Road, that we all listen to, and so are we doing a dual thing? Are you posting this as yours? Are we posting this?
We did not discuss this, but I am all in for
All right,
that.
okay.
This
Programming mid-program.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll have to call our advertisers.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to get my
Sponsor
people.
exemptions.
You have to talk to my people.
Right.
No. No, I actually am very inspired by what you guys are doing for podcasting. I always have been. Like, huge fan. This is like fan circle moment. But we have a whole different version of podcasting because I'm not out in wine country. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, but we talk to a lot of people who do a lot of business out here or like drink the wines in Atlanta, and it's like the wine industry as a whole, and then connecting it to the Southeast and the people who are making that. So like I'm inspired by who I hear on your show, and then I get excited if I start seeing their wines in the market. Like it's something I seek out because it's all this wine industry connection through this audio platform that we all love.
What was your first episode?
Oh gosh, it was. I do remember. It was my friend Billy of the Vino Van. She has a company where she does tours up in North Georgia, and she was a really good friend of mine. And I'm like, oh, well, you have a really cool story. Let's just start there. So I don't even know why she did that because I had no experience doing this. I don't even know if I had the right microphone, but she was like, yeah, that sounds great. And you know what? Since then, every guest who is willing to be on the show means the world to me. If you say yes to this crazy experience, then I really appreciate it because it is the people that make the show. I can't just sit there and talk by myself, so it's the people on the show.
We can sit and talk by ourselves, but I don't think anyone really cares when we actually do that. It's better to have the people. You're right. So thank you for being a person.
Well, you guys are a bunch of really good people too, though. So you do make the show. But I think having that first start, and actually I didn't even know how to upload or do the, like, what is it? You probably the RS stream or whatever it is. I honestly had no idea how to get the podcast on Apple or on Spotify. I didn't know. I was just recording it. And then it was asking some folks for help and then realizing like, oh, this is actually something I can do at home and I don't need to buy the fancy equipment right off the bat. Like I can just start somewhere and start talking to people, practicing conversations. And then I started listening to other podcasts of learning like what I like when I'm listening to a podcast. What's the style? I don't want to be interrupting the guests. Like these are, I start listening to that because I'm like,
should we introduce her to the Podfather?
Ooh, that sounds
Podfather?
Yeah.
Sounds
Well,
intense.
he'll listen to this show, won't he?
Absolutely.
This sounds really mysterious. I didn't know there was a
Ed me Kelly,
Well,
Kelly me Ed.
Ed Kent. All those things that you said, that none of us actually know how to do. We just record and send.
We send a Dropbox, and after that we don't.
Makes it happen.
Right.
You guys are just the talent.
We're
Totally.
air quotes.
Oh my
Totally.
The
I
talent.
did not know. That is a beautiful situation that you have. That you just send off your show
Just
and have it just magically appear online.
The lack of talent manifests as talent. Fantastic.
So wait, what are you doing out here?
What am I doing? What are we doing, right?
I know
no.
you guys just had your anniversary.
They came for Pliny the Younger Day.
That's it.
Oh, that was yesterday.
Yesterday.
We missed it.
Well,
We
and Big
planned it
Chicken is going on right now too.
What's Big Chicken?
Big Chicken is Hen House in Petaluma. That's their answer to Pliny the Younger. And
Chicken.
yeah, if you are into those things, but
If you're a beer nut.
Hophead.
Hophead?
I think that's a thing.
Yeah, totally.
Well, if we missed that, then we have to have an alternative. But I do think we come out here to drink, eat, and enjoy, and see really good people. But we've been coming out here. We were tallying, I think, for 8 years now consecutively. Yeah, I look over at him. He's approving. Fact checker.
But you are out here for an event also, right? Because I reached out to you, not even thinking that you may have already talked to Sam, but
yeah, this is Jasmine. He's like, talk to my people.
Talk to my
people. But yeah, this is the first time where I'm out here where I'm doing an event. And that is so exciting because I serve a lot of the California Sonoma wines at events in Atlanta. I work with a lot of retailers and restaurants to do this. But out here, I get to actually be with the winemaker. And tonight I'm doing an event in Petaluma with DRNK, Katie and Ryan Cundy. They're amazing. Cool. They're so cool. And they have sold, oh gosh, shameless plug, but I make a bag that carries wine in it, and they sell those bags. And so we've always kind of had this business partnership. And when I said I was coming out, they're like, we have a new pop-up space in downtown Petaluma. We're just getting rolling. Do you want to see if people will come and join you for a night? And I was like, yes, I love doing events. Let's do it. So we have, I think the last time I checked, there were like 15 people that are coming out tonight to taste wine. Awesome. And like in this new little spot in Petaluma. It's perfect.
Do you know what the spot is?
It's called the Bagel Mill.
And
it's Katie's, I think it's Katie's sister that owns it, but they're closed in the evening and they're closed on like weekend hours. So they're kind of doing this duel of like, okay, one business by day, but in the evening they can come in and they got licensing to do their pop-up for their wine.
And that place, the bagels there have gotten a lot of...
Bagels are really good.
Really good.
Good gluten-free bagels too, for those of you who care about those things.
Well, shoot, I'm going to have to get a bagel when I'm there.
The bagels are
good. I'm going to have to get a bagel. Bagel and wine tasting. Next one.
I'm here for it.
Wait, where is that place?
I don't know.
On Western.
It's on Google.
Right around like, you know where Petaluma Market is?
Yeah.
Right around the corner from there.
Okay.
Right on Western.
Okay, cool.
It's a cool spot. Yeah.
It's a really cool opportunity for them because they have a winery and they actually have really cool tastings and cave and whatever. They do cave tastings and it's awesome and their wines are so great. But I think this will bring a whole nother market just to have like a pop-in spot. Like they're going to be able to be there on weekend evenings, which you can't always have that at the winery in the same way. And so they're just going to be able to like bring a whole new audience to their wines. I'm pumped for them.
Petaluma has a whole bunch of tasting opportunities now. You know, there's the new distiller down there. There's 3 or 4 tasting rooms right down in the main space in town. It's pretty cool. Petaluma's a lot hipper than it was when we were there, Brian.
Yeah. Everything's always cooler later.
Right. No, I mean, it definitely is like the next frontier of Sonoma wine tourism.
Yeah.
The whole downtown Petaluma's rad. There's great restaurants. Definitely.
Shout out to Street Social.
Central Market.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So the Mystics for sale. If you want a $1.6 million nightclub.
Easy. Why don't we put that together?
Let's do it.
I mean, hopefully whoever buys it keeps it because it's a great music venue.
It really is.
Great music venue.
And cheap, actually.
Yeah, it's actually not that, which is terrifying. It's kind of scary that's all.
I kind of wonder what it looks like when the lights are on. I've only been there and when it's dark.
Right.
I don't think you want to know. It sounds like I've never been to this place, but you saying that makes me not want
It's
to
like
know.
nightclubs. When you're there at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, everything looks super cool. And then if you ever go back at like 9 o'clock in the morning when the lights are on,
looking for your ATM card.
Oh, bad scene.
And your dignity.
Yeah. I think I saw Morris Day in the Time.
Oh,
nice.
Doing the bird.
So you're saying that Petaluma is a really cool place to be tasting some wine. This is really good. I feel approved.
And
I feel validated.
When you guys were talking about a cave, they're using the cave at Cundy?
No. Ryan is a Cundy, but his wife's family owns vineyards in Sebastopol area, and they built a cave before they even had a winery, right?
I think so. Yeah, the cave has been there for a while, and they are just like bringing now more events into that space too. Like they always had guests there, but now they're doing like dinners in the cave and like they had a little winter market. Like they're using the space a little bit more, but it's kind of near Sebastopol more. So this like downtown space for just walkability, people popping in, just trying the wines that they may have never driven out to go find them. Right. I think it's so great. A lot of you have that of like, you know, the Healdsburg tasting rooms and the down here in Sonoma, like it helps to get visibility on your wines to an audience that may not drive out to your place, you know? And I think it's a great place to just like get the word out, get these wines into people because they're so good.
And I mean, and they've also made it tough to legally get people out to your places in Sonoma County. You know, it's hard to have a winery or a you know, an event space.
You're that Supervisor Gorin
in rural Sonoma County. You know, there's a lot of NIMBY neighbors who moved here for the agricultural lifestyle, but don't actually want to let the things that support the agriculture happen.
Right.
Or even that guy Damien who has that wine shop in Petaluma right next to the Mystic he's having some challenges, just like doing tastings.
Right, just to, you know, is that whole loft that they can't use.
Totally, right. Which would be such a cool spot.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Have you left us Avenage, a couple doors down from the Mystic. Yeah. You have to go check it out before in your Petaluma.
All right. Well, we're gonna have a little Petaluma evening. So now it's on the plan.
You can't miss the Mystic. It's pretty much the biggest building downtown.
That in the seed bank, right?
Yeah. This is amazing. Well, thank you for giving me this Petaluma itinerary. I appreciate it.
This portion of the program brought to you by Petaluma Poultry.
PPC. Petaluma Poultry Council.
Yeah. All right. So what else are you guys doing? So you went to Smith Story, obviously. Shout out to Dusty and Allie. We love those guys. Love the wines. Love the dogs. Love the whole program with the socks, and I don't know if you got how deep you went.
I love the Cab Franc in the Loire style bottle, you know, in a Burgundy instead of a Bordeaux.
Oh, what's the vintage?
19.
Okay.
Hey, you just use the bottles you get, right? Right. Should we? I wasn't going to open it, but I think we should because it's Cab Franc.
I think we should.
I felt like I wanted to bring you something that the only reason I even knew of these wines is because of the Winemaker's Pot. And I told you this, but honestly, it's very true. When I'm planning an itinerary to come out here and learn about producers, I often go to the list and I'll be like, who's been on the Winemaker's Podcast? And I'll just start looking. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I've had their wines before. And I'll just start like looking up how to reach out to them. This was one of those. I had never had these wines. I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, you know, Kelly, for me, that just makes me so happy.
It's true.
It's so cool because that's not necessarily what we intended when we started having all these small producers. But when we started seeing it happen, it just becomes so awesome.
You didn't expect it, but
Winemakers Podcast Travel Agency.
Yeah,
that's it. Well,
the nice thing is, it's
Friends
a
of the
library.
Pod tour. Yeah. We really need to do this.
We have such a library now. It's amazing. You know, I mean, how many shows, Bart? 275
with like 50 million listeners.
How many countries? How many countries?
30.
We're coming for you, Joe Rogan.
We do know 30 countries.
Levy who?
We're huge in Morocco, I heard.
Number one in Turlock.
Number one in Turlock.
That's a Grateful Dead. That's an old Grateful Dead line. Anyway, so how did you get into wine?
Ooh, that's like a philosophical
question. I know that you share wine with your parents are into it and they're like RV lifestyle. Was it your? And this is what I gather.
You just knew that my parents have #van life. You actually know this. Okay, that's true.
I pay attention.
They do.
I pay attention to the things that aren't actually like moving my life forward. I pay attention to everything else. But was it like a wine household? Growing up, they had wine on the table and talked about it, shared it.
All the time. My dad. Oh, there comes Ryan for that Cab Franc.
Ryan with an empty glass.
It just comes with the empty glass to the table. That's perfect. You told him to do that, and he did. It's perfect. But yeah, no, we grew up with like this, lots of wine on the table. But I also saw my dad using wine in business negotiations. So he was in like software sales in like the 80s, and he would host all of his clients and do dinners, and he'd be the guy with the wine list, and he had to pick it out. So I watched him use wine knowledge as like negotiation, meeting it with business partners, and then showcasing the wines and being like, wow, that was a really memorable night with this guy who's my client, but like knows a lot about wine. And I started to see this like beautiful people connection that happened. Like he'd create memories with people, and the wine was involved, and then people would, feel connected to him further on, whether it was for business or just friendship. So I was like, wine is really cool. So I knew that. And then he was taking me out to Napa. Like, I was a baby in a backpack in Napa Valley, like coming out here with my parents. But then, like, when I was 18, like one of my spring breaks, like we came out to Napa and did tastings and that kind of stuff. So
when you were 21, of course.
I mean, when my dad said it was fine,
Okay.
that's when we did this. So it was great. So like, and I just watched.
Yeah.
Just watched it. Watched it happen.
Smelled.
Just smelled everything.
Just smell this.
But at the time, I probably was actually a very, you mentioned smell, I was a very, very picky eater for most of my life. We laugh about this because I put my mom through so much trouble with this because I'm like, I only eat beige things. So noodles with butter, bread with butter, chips, like I was only eating
Chicken
French
nuggets?
fries. I don't even know if I ate chicken nuggets. I don't know. Maybe like it was French fries. Pasta and bread was kind of the main thing. So the fact that I was even like interested in smelling things that I wasn't even eating was probably enjoyable for my parents to see because they were like, oh, she might end up being okay because she's smelling the wine. It's fine.
Exactly.
Right? Because I was really picky about it. But I just thought it was a beautiful thing. They traveled for wine. They were sharing wine with friends all the time, and I really enjoyed it. So flash forward, I'm in college, and then I graduated that, and I went to grad school in Virginia.
And what did you study in college and grad school?
In undergrad, I went to Michigan State. Go green, go green. Yeah. Oh, I got a fist pump. I like that. But Spartans, yeah. So
Go
Spartans,
Sparty,
go Sparty.
Draymond Green. There we go.
Right.
Thank you. I didn't know I was among Michigan State friends. That's good.
You're not.
Oh no.
But I'm not a non-Michigan State person. I just,
We just hosted a huge group from Ohio, so
Right, we had to be careful.
don't Rob Wyman, don't listen to this portion of the show.
That's where a lot of people
Go
go
Buckeyes.
off. Yes, a lot of people go off that train. That's
well,
true.
and my wife went to Illinois, so she's has no love at all
She's
for
fighting the
Michigan.
Illini.
Yeah.
Totally.
Gosh, this is why I don't ever say this because you make friends and enemies. By the time you say anything about
This
football,
segment brought to you by the Big Ten.
I mean, she can be an enemy. That's fine.
This is amazing.
We're still friends.
This is amazing. Well, I do. My mom went to that other school in
You went
Michigan.
to Kenwood University.
So you guys, you can make friends and enemies with all of this. I know because my mom went to University of Michigan, so she went to that other school. So I still have to like be okay with Michigan, but I studied exercise science in undergrad, and then I went to graduate school for exercise physiology to get my master's. So I was at the time thinking I was going to be like the person doing all the preseason testing of all the athletes, like making sure that they were ready for training. I worked with the Michigan State basketball team, the Michigan State hockey team. Like I was in full on like sports, science was everything. Like I was going to work for Nike. Like that was my goal. Like I'm going to go do Reebok testing, Nike, whatever. So then I went to grad school and I realized like maybe I'm not super into sports as I thought I was. And so everyone in my program was like really like endurance athletes and cyclists and all this stuff. And I realized I just kind of want to like walk and like be healthy. So I kind of like, no joke. I had this like epiphany, like maybe sports isn't my thing as much anymore. And I couldn't play sport. I was playing basketball, tennis, and I threw discus and track in high school, and I was like full on sports. But in grad school, like I just wanted to kind of chill out and just like be healthy and walk. So
You threw discus?
I threw discus. I'm tall. It's a lever.
Cool.
It's a lever.
Thanks for not
thing.
letting that one slip by.
Oh
John.
my god!
That
Oh,
was
I
important.
did just kind of
was
throw that in there. Sorry, surprise. Yeah. So that's no one ever knows it. But
Normally it's like those East German big women that throw the discus. Are you saying that it helps to
Brian,
be...
you're showing your age.
Wait, it helps
You
to
are.
be tall? Why does it help to be tall?
it's physics, my
And-
friend. Physics and levers, and absolutely it is. It's all about like learning the physics, biomechanics of throwing the disc, and being tall creates a lot more like leverage and like longer levers, longer arms. It's a whole thing,
Okay,
and I
how
was
much
really
do
good
those-
at it.
how
It's
much do
such
they
a
weigh?
technique thing.
It is, yes.
Yeah, how much does a discus weigh?
I don't know how much it weighs. 'Cause-
About like 5 pounds?
Gosh, less than that? Because they're more like
Compared to a bottle of wine.
Oh, it's probably similar. I guess I don't know. Look at this science person not knowing how much the discus weighs.
Okay, and then
But I-
how far could
I
you
bet
throw it?
Ooh, I was throwing. Gosh, it was over 100. Oh, that's a good question. 117 feet, something like that. Like it was long. I wasn't great. I was not great. You're like Sam's like I don't know.
So if we
Better than
got you
anyone at the
out,
table
if
with
we got
that.
you out in the parking lot with this bottle of wine, you could throw it 117 feet. You think?
We could try. We could see. Want to do
Challenge
it? We're doing
accepted.
It. Yeah, we're good.
It just became a video podcast.
And then it's going to end terribly when I smash a window or something.
Right, like, but can you guarantee where it's going to land?
Somebody
That's
walks out of an
the
office to a
problem.
bottle of Viognier in the head. Right.
There's a reason why in the discus they have that big area,
Right.
like, and nobody walks there.
Oh, when it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like a
Yes.
baseball diamond.
Right.
I guess it's better than a javelin.
That's exactly.
I'm
right.
actually really glad I just casually revealed this secret to you all. I had no idea that we had Discus fans and Michigan State fans. This is great. Yeah, I actually, like, sports were my thing, and I was obsessed with it. And then I actually tore my ACL playing basketball, so that changed everything. Got surgery, but it's never been the same.
No, it hasn't.
So I just was like, I need to find a way to stay active. And, like, that's why in grad school, I realized, wow, like, there's a way to use exercise science and help general population. So a lot of my studies in grad school switched to women and girls and like public health more of like just active in the community and having safe places to walk and bike and all of that. And I was like, oh, that's a whole nother, that's a job opportunity I didn't know I had, was like public health. So that's kind of the direction I switched. But at the same time, we were in Virginia, and this was in the late 2000s, and the wine industry was booming. Like, it was just coming up in Virginia. Like we were backyard to wineries. And so on the weekends we'd go taste, and like all of my grad school friends, we were like at wineries and learning about wine. And it was so much fun. So when I graduated, I didn't get a job right away, and I needed a break. I was super burned out. Like, I turned in my thesis paper, and I was like, I don't want to do academics for right now. So I just was like, what else do I know? Oh, thanks, Mom and Dad. I know about wine. So I picked up a part-time job at the nearest winery, and I was in the tasting room, and I just started pouring wine for people and working with the winemaker. And at the time, there were 12 people on staff. So it was super, super small. We were making, at the time, 3,000 cases, something like that. And I got involved. Like, I got to do blending. I was doing barrel tastings. I was giving tours. Like, they literally were like, she likes wine, get her into everything. So
Likes
I
wine
did.
and she wants to work.
I was like, I need a job. I need some money. I'm here. And then I also was like, I love wine. And so I just started like hosting people. I did a lot of the events. We had weddings. So I was doing all of the beverage program for the weddings and the larger events. And I loved it. I loved it so much. And I became the general manager. So it just kind of like happened.
Is that winery still there?
It is still there.
Will you shout it out?
They're really great. And actually, they just got a gold medal in the Virginia Governor's Cup, the Cross Keys sparkling wine. They're making a Blanc de Noir, and it's so great. So Cross Keys Vineyards, like, the winemaker there, he was from South Africa, and he gave me so many opportunities that showed me behind the scenes of like understanding wine production. Like, he let me be involved. And I know that doesn't always happen. I was talking to some people actually yesterday, wineries out here, because you can be in a tasting room out here in Napa and Sonoma and have completely different experiences on your staff, like how involved you get to be in the production side. Sometimes you're just hospitality, like legit, you're just doing that. Or you get to be barrel tasting and blending and making decisions. There was a wine that was so cool. We grew Touriga Nacional, and we were doing a port style wine. Oh, dang. Do I get a ding for that? Great.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Why not?
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. That's great. Fans of
In
Touriga.
Virginia.
In Virginia, yes. And actually, a lot of people do grow that. But we were doing, at the time, just a port style of it. So fortified, it ended up being like 18% ABV. It was great. It was actually really popular, especially around the holidays. But one year, we had a surplus of the Touriga, and we were barrel tasting it. And I just looked at my winemaker, and I was like, this is really good. Like, can we just bottle this? Can we just make a Touriga? And everybody just kind of like stood there, and I was like, oh, it's not a bad idea. Okay, yeah, we'll get a new label. We got to do this. Let's do it. So we added a Touriga in like 2011, Ryan? 2011 was the first vintage of it. And they're still doing it. And honestly, that is so fun for me, because that's the involvement that type of early position in my wine career, like, let me see how those decisions are made. And sometimes it's just as simple as, this is really good, we should bottle it. Like, we should bottle this.
Those moments where you're in the winery tasting through barrels and a barrel makes you change your plan. That just happened. We're going to do a barrel of a Cabernet that was going to be blended into something else. And it's too good to lose. It's too good. Like, we have other things we can blend. This is like this one barrel that we had to do something else with. Have to.
And you have those moments, and then that indicates exactly like your new game plan. And I got to be involved in that, and I know that's like not always the case if you just kind of start off part-time, but like they were letting me weigh in. I remember tasting all the barrels and taking notes, and this is where, well, I wasn't as picky of an eater at the time anymore, because I realized I was hypersensitive to this stuff, and I was like taking notes on these barrels and geeking out about it and calling out, you know, flavors and things. And I think that they saw that I was just really enjoying it and nailing like the characteristics of the barrel. So like, why not have her talk about the blending choices? Or like, it was just such a unique experience at that point. I mean, I was in my mid-20s and I was doing this. I mean, it was awesome.
I wonder if you're like food pickiness is just about having a really sensitive palate.
Right.
Like you didn't want, when you were a kid, you didn't want all those flavors because there was too much. When it comes to wine, that like level of sensitivity probably helps.
Mom, you hear that? Maybe that's what it was.
It was all for good, Mom.
My mom hopefully will listen to this.
10 pounds of pasta a week that you were boiling.
It all turned out okay in the end, Mom. I like wine.
By curry.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I need a piece of bread with butter.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, my senses get overloaded.
Totally.
But with wine, you picked up all those little nuances.
all those subtleties.
I started to enjoy the crazy smells, and before they freaked me out. So I don't know.
And especially when you're barrel tasting, because you taste, 7 or 8 barrels of the exact same lot. And, on paper, it should all taste exactly the same. But there's those subtle differences that make all the world when it comes to the final blends or the direction that the wine is going, right? So being able to pick that stuff up.
Sam, how many bottles will you get out of that barrel?
About 23.
I'm gonna do 25 cases of Magnums.
Oh wow! Okay, good.
So it'll be 25 times
I'm a Magnum
25
fan.
times 6, 150 Magnums.
Yeah.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, coming to you soon, 2025 or something.
Because it was just that good, and you couldn't let it go.
So I mean, it's Cabernet that was supposed to go into a Super Tuscan style blend, and we have one barrel. It's a brand new Tear and Sow barrel and it's just like, it's too good to. I mean, it would be great in the blend, but it's too good to lose the singularity of it.
I appreciate
And
this.
it helps pay for that barrel too.
Totally.
And the
That
barrels,
barrel was fucking expensive.
and that's what I like to hear from winemakers is when we start to really geek out about the barrels, because that doesn't always make it to like people that come to my events. They may not know that like you just called out the name of that barrel, but that's because it matters and it makes such a big difference for you. And you're like, that's my favorite barrel, but like it matters. And then it's so expensive too. So you have that, but it's okay to call out the barrels and say why you like them. That's great. I love that.
Wait, what was it? So can you spell the name of the winery that we were talking about?
Oh, where I got started,
Yeah,
where my dreams came true.
Yeah.
Yes, Cross Keys Vineyards. Yes.
Wait, how do you spell that?
Like cross, like CROSS
Uh-huh.
Keys, and it was the Battle of Cross Keys was like the battlefield where this winery ended up now being.
Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
lots of Civil War history, and like things dug up on that property, like super cool. Like the history in that area of Virginia is incredible. You drive down and it's like all these like Civil War like signs of like this battle was here and this was here, and I mean that's just really cool about like Virginia's history, but it's happening all over the state with these wineries. It used to maybe be like orchard farms or that kind of thing, but the vineyards are just in these really beautiful places. It's allowing people to get close to, like on the East Coast, allowing people to see viticulture, allowing people to get close to the vines and see it for the first time. There were often guests at my winery that were coming in and they were like, this is the first time I've ever seen a vineyard. That's so cool. That's still happening today. It's still happening. So giving people access to that is something I think Virginia can extremely excel at.
Have you ever been out to Stone Mountain and dug up mini balls? 'Cause
No.
we used to do that. Yeah.
No, I have not done this. Ryan, we have to do that next weekend. We're going out to Stone Mountain. No, I have not. But again, like it's all connected to that, like that people aspect and the historical of the places. So I think seeing Virginia's wine industry at that time and the people that were coming out and enjoying it, I realized that like wine brings people together in a way that a lot of other things don't. So I was in the tasting room and anybody could walk in that door. And I had a lot of people that were like, yeah, it was their first time. And they were nervous to taste wine. I don't know if that, hopefully it doesn't happen when they come to 16600, but I honestly had
to
that.
make people nervous.
Right.
That's the business plan.
They're just super fans.
Intimidate
and they're
their credit cards
you.
out of their wallets.
It's so cute because I did have people say that, and I was like, well, we're here to drink alcohol. And then it made me, at that point, this was like 2013, I started to be like, what in the wine industry is making people come here for the first time and say they're nervous? Like, do they go to the movie theater and say that? Like, do they go to dinner and say no? So like, what is it about seeing me at this winery? And it is a beautiful property and it's stunning and all these things. Is it that people feel like they might say the wrong thing? Is it they don't know what to buy or how to say the stuff? So I dove in at that point in like my wine career as the manager there. I was like, what is going on in the industry? It got me just like way more. I was hyper focused on Virginia wine at the time, but then I was like, what else in the industry is happening and how can I help? Like, what can I do? Is it a communication thing? Like, I just started thinking like, how can we get more people to be excited about exploring wine instead of nervous about exploring wine? Does that make sense?
The wine industry
100%.
did it to itself, right? You know, of the 70s and the 80s, you know, wines, you know, for special occasions. And, you know, the people got that idea that if you don't finish the bottle, it won't be good the next day. And like, we know that's not true. And I think that's, you know, trying to compete with Europe and, you know, it was just its infancy, I think.
Yeah. Yep. And I saw people come and then it was like families and they were coming all the way from DC and it was a mix of just everyone could walk in that door. So I loved that about Virginia wine. And I think it's even just like, honestly, just exponentially grown since I left. And I think that's really amazing. They also have the Virginia Wine Marketing Office that's based like it's in the government, like it's in Virginia government and it's like tourism bureau, and they're really making it easy for people to get information about wineries and like set itineraries, and they have this competition every year that's judging these wines and just putting them up a little bit more on like the quality of what's happening is very cohesive. It's like a community effort to make Virginia wine a destination, and I love that. It was happening when I was there, and it's just taken off since. It's pretty cool.
They have a rep for sparkling wine, though. Out here we know that they take home medals for sparkling wine. I remember one year where they had the #1 sparkling wine in the United States.
What was it, Virginia?
Yeah.
That makes me happy. Yeah, because that's what, so at the time when I was there, didn't have a sparkling program. This is in like right outside of Harrisonburg, Virginia, which is where Ryan and I went to grad school at James Madison University. So this was like the winery down the road from the university. And yes, James Madison.
That's your second ding.
That's my second dig for my schools. I really appreciate this. Apparently I picked some good academic institutions, but it was really fun because
Better than anything I could get
Right.
into.
it was awesome because all the students there, like families would come and you could just tell that like the community was connected to the winery as well. So I just kind of saw this happen of people coming in, and now there's this knowledge base growing in Virginia that's allowing people to just have access to it. It's an access thing to me. And that you can literally just go, and most of the time you can bring your dog, your baby, whatever. You can like go to the wineries. It's amazing.
No, such an interesting point about, you know, the access, people who never seen a vineyard before. Like, especially, you know, if you live in an urban area, if you don't live in California,
Right.
You know, yeah, how do you have access to that? And to sort of like lower that barrier to entry. And not that, you know, I want people to go to Virginia wineries and learn about wine and like vineyards and then come to California after that. But that's kind of the progression, right? I mean, if you go to you live in Virginia, your first experience at a winery ever is a good experience at a place in Virginia, you're probably more apt to go, you know, maybe we will spend our vacation dollars and time going, you know, visiting another wine country somewhere else. And, you know, that's totally interesting.
Even in terms of history, it's a progression because that's where it started.
Right.
Thomas Jefferson brought vines in from France because he was a Francophile.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone was drinking sweet wine. 80% of the United States back in the 1700s signing a Declaration of Independence. What were they drinking? Madeira. And Jefferson knew, like, oh, I've had this other shit over across the pond.
Well, the other exactly. I mean, the other thing is that the winemaking's gotten a lot better. Like the grape growing's gotten better, the winemaking's gotten better. I mean, a lot of things were planted haphazardly, in the 70s and 80s there, and people have left here to go there and pursue careers, and they've taken that experience. So it's just all positive,
That was the coolest part. You actually just like ding, nail on the head, because
you can ding. This is your show.
oh, ding! I can ding. So ding to calling out why Virginia's so cool.
Oh, don't chip those pink nails.
I won't. No chip.
You got a big event tonight. Don't put
Safety first. But I'm dinging this because Virginia has an incredible influx of knowledge coming in, and it's very international. So like I said, like at the time I was working for a South African winemaker, there are a lot of South African winemakers coming into Virginia. That is like a really cool community. You're getting French interns that are coming to Virginia because of the access thing, and they can be more involved in the production from start to finish at a Virginia winery than maybe they had access to even in France at the time. So it's like the knowledge coming to that state for wine is exciting, and it still is. Like it's so cool. Every time we go back, we try to go back like at least once a year. We're in Virginia. I look at him, I'm like, fact check, once a year. But we go and like every year
Ryan's just nodding and eating tacos and drinking wine over there.
True.
Whatever you say is true.
That's a tough day for Ryan.
I just
Nothing's new.
had to set the scene a little bit.
It's a very typical situation. It's great. He's happy. But we always try to go back to Virginia because I am always impressed by the elevation in quality that happens every year. It's so cool. And then finding out what grows well. There is a lot of programs from like Virginia Tech, for example, that are elevating how the vineyards are planted and learning like enology and viticulture programs that are just one-upping every single year what's happening in Virginia. And I know we're sitting in California. We just geeked out about Virginia. This is very typical Kelly situation, but
so do you know Stone Tower?
I do, and we went there because
Mike
I heard
Drash.
Yes. Because you told me to go, and I did.
Well, because Mike was a winemaker here in Napa Valley for years, and had family back there, and he moved back there. And the pictures I've seen of that place, it's a Napa Valley winery just plopped down in Virginia. Like,
it's pretty spectacular.
There's no shortage of financing there.
They also have I think it was a pet nat last time we were there that really blew my mind. Like that people are being experimental. And yes, the facilities allow for just like a spectacular hospitality experience, right. And I think that's like that, back to Sam's point of inspiring people to then take another wine trip. If they have a Stone Tower experience, then they're like, oh, well, then if I go to Napa, I've done this before. I know how to make an appointment. I know I'm not as afraid. Like they'll come out here.
That intimidation factor kind of goes away a little bit.
Yes.
Well, not in Napa, but
not in Napa.
Here in Sonoma.
We were intimidated in Napa yesterday.
Only at one place.
Only one place.
We'll take that offline. Now I want to know. But we'll figure that out later.
We're mostly joking.
Okay, good.
I mean, it was an hour and a half at a winery. We tasted barrel, didn't see a single bottle of wine.
Ooh.
I mean, it's a members only kind of experience. And, kind of literally we went in the delivery entrance.
Did you sign an NDA?
I didn't sign anything. I knew my lawyer was there, but I didn't sign anything. But it was, that would have been a very intimidating experience. Even if you were, had the net worth to be a member there, I could see how that would be terrifying.
Absolutely. Think about the spectrum of experiences you can get from Sonoma to Napa when you come out here. And that's why, like, I get all the time, people are always asking, recommendations for when they're coming out to California. Like, oh, Kelly, you go out there. Like, that's a loaded question because I have to be like, well, what are you into? What's your speed? Do you how many people do you want? I ask
see
so
a
many.
castle? Do you want to see vineyards? Do you want Pinot? Are you a cab drinker?
Instagram pictures and the mustard. That's all I'm
Caves.
looking for.
Yeah, we got lots of mustard.
It's very interesting, but that's like to me now. So when we moved to Atlanta, Georgia, after living in Virginia, And I realized that I still wanted to have this ability to make access more, just at the forefront, because I realized in Virginia, like, I can help with that. I can help make people I can help people get excited about wine. Like, that's what I love doing, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. So I started the little LLC originally at the time in Atlanta to help like restaurants or retailers that didn't have like wine education staff on hand. I would like, I'll do an event for you, or I'll host a tasting, or I'll promote that you're doing this tasting. Like, it was again about like promoting the wine industry and just getting other people excited to come just try it. Like just that first initial try. So that's what I still do. Like, I still am all about promoting the wine industry, creating opportunities for people to learn about wine, to talk about wine. Like, to me, the conversation is what's key, and it brings more people into the fold. If you have like opportunities to feel welcome to like ask questions and experience wine in a way that you haven't, maybe with a certain food or side-by-side blind comparisons, like, people get excited about learning about this stuff if you give them the opportunity to. So that's what I do now. I try to set up events. I try to create access and opportunities to these things, and working with so many other cool wine professionals, because I like to be like, look what they're doing. Look at their wine program. Oh my gosh, like that's the best part for me now.
I think one of the most common things you hear when you're like doing a barrel tasting is you have people say, well, this is better than anything else that they're pouring, but it's that experience, right? Like, you get caught up in the experience, and if that helps you appreciate wine more and want to try more things and be open to it, then it's a win-win, right?
Absolutely. More people getting excited about wine is top of my goals. Like, I just I like when people get pumped, and maybe it's that they can drink something that I'm not drinking. Like, you don't have to drink what I like, because I like some weird stuff. So you don't have to drink what I like, but I want you to be excited about what you're drinking and feel empowered when you're at a restaurant to pick something off that list and know why you chose that. Say, oh, well, you can describe, even if it's structure or flavors or a region that you discovered because you came to one of my events. Like, you go somewhere else, and now I send a little bit elevated education base to my friends in the wine industry. That's kind of what it's become now, is like getting people excited, giving access, so then they become empowered consumers going forward. Like, I love that. To me, that's where we're headed.
So do we.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
where we're gonna say.
We need a Kelly out here.
Right.
What are we doing right now?
I mean, put down that White Claw, motherfucker. But this is amazing. Like, everything you're talking about is what we talk about. Is just getting people to try wine,
Right.
And not talking down to them and not intimidating them. It's just creating that experience for people, just to know that, at the end of the day, it's a beverage. We're drinking a beverage,
a really
made
good
from
beverage.
Grapes, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't you don't have to be intimidated by the guy in the suit coming to the table. You don't have to be intimidated by going into a cave and tasting out of the barrel.
No, I say this with confidence, and I love that you agree with me on this, but this doesn't mean that there are still places that I don't get nervous. There are definitely some wine situations where I'm like, I get intimidated about stuff, or like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Like, that still happens to me, but then I have to take a little bit of a step back and be like, but why? Wait, this is the opposite of your goals. Step back. Why is this making you feel this way? Again, it's people, it's connection, it's the wine, it's the alcohol, like enjoyment. Like, enjoyment is at the center. So I always have to kind of like regroup and get back to that mindset if I get nervous in a situation.
Hey, Kelly, sorry, you guys. Kelly, what was the wine culture like in Atlanta? And what's going on in Atlanta now with the wine culture,
Oh, it's so exciting. I'm like, where do I start? Oh gosh. How much time do we have? How many bottles? Because I get really pumped now. Yep. I'm counting. We're in the double digits, right? I get really excited about it. And that's where the podcast has really allowed for these conversations, because it's letting people in their own terms. Like, I sit back and you ask me this question. My opinion is that the Atlanta wine community is so incredibly inclusive. It's exciting. People are bringing in new things to the state that have never been into the state before. There's a lot of effort with that right now. I'm excited about the education level and the access. That's exciting. That's just me. I can sit back at home and be like, I love what's happening in Atlanta, but I don't always know if that's how other people feel. So it's been really awesome on the podcast to ask a lot of my guests that are in the industry, like, how do you describe the Atlanta wine community to other people? Because I just want to know if it's anywhere what I'm thinking. And the coolest part is that usually it is. There's always this, it's diverse, It's welcoming. It's community first. Like that's what a lot of people have said on the show. So that's not just Kelly's opinion. That's a community thing there. But I do think it's happening, and I love seeing people be creative about the types of delivery of wine that's happening. For example, like events that are music and wine pairings, or like I have a friend that's doing, it's called Taste the Playlist. It's hip hop pairings with wine throughout an experience. Like that's happening in Atlanta, and it's bringing a lot of people that didn't know about wine, but they're connecting, whether it's through music, through fashion, through dance, like whatever. They're finding wine because of their other interests. And there are people that are making an effort to create those types of events. Yeah. It's so fun. It's so fun. I love it. I just sounded really Minnesotan when I said that. Sorry.
There's been a couple moments where I was like, oh, that's right. Michigan, Minnesota.
I skipped that part. I guess I just gave it away. But yeah, I grew up in Minnesota. Up there I did. I grew up in Minnesota.
We have a couple listeners from Minnesota.
Oh, well, hope you guys are enjoying the snow up there right now.
Yeah, hey there.
We're well represented in the upper Midwest. Yeah. And that's one of the 30 countries that listens, I think.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right, Kelly. Collaboration's cool.
Minneapolis is not a state, Sam.
It's fun when other people when you're sharing the experience. That's when it's most fun for us, too, is when we're sharing what we're doing. It's not just us sitting alone at the end of a shift, drinking a bottle of wine in our garage. It still can be exciting.
You can, as long as you share it on Instagram, you're sharing, right?
So share it on Instagram. But sharing a bottle of wine with someone is a completely different experience. And then when you bring other people into the fold to create an actual experience, then that's where the magic happens.
True magic. Like I've been sitting at events, and oftentimes like I like to go to my friends that are putting these on and be like, just kind of sit back and take it all in, because that's when I do see that magic is happening. Like if you're hosting the event, sometimes you get caught up in it and you're too busy running around making sure that things stay on the road. But when you actually are just looking around and you're like, wow, like look at the people in the room. This is wonderful. Like this is so fun to see, like people having conversations that normally they wouldn't have run into each other on the street and had that conversation. Like that happens around wine, and we all probably have some sort of love for that happens around the table, and I see it all the time. But I will say accelerating in Atlanta is that aspect. I also see, I was talking about this the other day at a place here in California, of like the retail scene in Atlanta, like these locally owned shops, a lot of them women too, really cool. They're doing really amazing things at a retail shop. So it's allowing people that comfort to shop locally and go to a wine shop instead of the grocery store, which is fine. Like you can shop wherever you want, but those places are allowing, again, access to have people go and be like, I've never been to a local wine shop. Cool. There's one now in my neighborhood. I guess I'll go see. Like it's really cool.
Well, and they have more chances to discover other wines than just what's on each shelf at the grocery store.
Yeah, right? And the knowledge of the people that are working in those shops and saying, you know, what do you like? Asking questions of the guests and then keeping track of what they're buying so then you can recommend. Like I was actually just texting with one of my wine shop friends this morning, Perrine. She's amazing. I had a wine last night.
Shout out Perrine.
Shout out Perrine. She
what's her
gets a
shop?
ding.
Yeah, what's the shop?
Perrine's. Perrine's.
And where is it?
It's in the west side of Atlanta.
Cool.
I know.
25% discount if you mention this podcast.
Sorry, Perrine. Where's my lawyer?
Only on cases. God. Only on cases.
Oh God, where's my lawyer? Oh my God. No, I did text her though, because this is the local wine shop helping. So I had a really cool wine last night at dinner, and I'd never heard of the producer. So I just texted my friend. You know, she works at she's owning this wine shop. I love her French wine knowledge. I just text her a picture. She's looking it up. She's seeing if we can find it. Like that's the type of relationships that you can have at a local wine shop in Atlanta. Like if you go there and you actually like have conversations and discuss what you like, what you don't like, that's what happens. It's so neat. And maybe I just don't know if that happens in like Alabama too. But I'm saying in Atlanta it's happening here, so I love it. I love it.
I did a modicum of research before this, and I found an article. For a tiny little bit.
Oh.
We have academic people. I'm pulling out some SAT words.
I would say, Sam, that's...
I'm like,
yeah.
I went to Sonoma High,
what
not
kind of
Petaluma High, you
machine
guys,
would
all right?
What kind of machine
Like-
do you use to do a modicum? What?
A computer.
Oh, okay.
And there was a Taste Atlanta, maybe was the publication. It was an article about, like, an interview of you, and there was one answer where you just like listed off all these small little wine shops and bottle shops, and it just like blew my mind that this is what's happening in Atlanta. So I'm excited about that.
Well, the reason why I asked is because the great Hardy Wallace
Right.
started as
Wait. Everyone collectively.
exactly.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hey, nicely done, Kelly.
You know who would really like that? Somebody who studied, sound and rhythm all his life. Shout out
But Hardy started his blog in Atlanta,
Right, the Dirty South
and-
Wine.
Yeah, and just being a wine lover, know, and look how far he's taken it.
I mean, I was going to ask, what is it about Atlanta that allows for sort of this wine community, from the Hardy Wallaces to the Kelly Cornetts to,
You're just
Does
that
that-
is not the same level. That is not an equal. That is not an
give it
equal.
time. Give it time. You will be wearing some really ridiculous eyeglasses soon. I believe in you. But what's happening there that allows for this community to thrive in the way that you're describing?
I think it's I'm gonna. This is probably like a cop out answer, but it is the people because it's the people that love wine, and they may have studied in another market. Like this is a really cool thing, an example of like people coming in, and it's the people making it happen. I just had him on the podcast, so shout out Stephen Meyer. He started a new import company, Bon Vin, but he worked in Manhattan for years with Skurnik, and he was working with all these wines, and he comes to Georgia, and he's like, they're not here. Oh, okay. I was like,
ding that one.
we'll just. We heard that Skurnik gets a ding. But he was like, wow, these are not in the state. And finding out kind of the legalities of why it's difficult for smaller producers or why a producer has never looked at Georgia. So really investigating what are the barriers and then trying to lower those barriers to entry and bringing people and producers into the state that have never been in Georgia. Like it's actually really cool. And that's just the beginning of it. But I think it's people saying, wow, I really like what's happening here. The restaurants are killer. Like we have a very educated group of wine consumers because we have all these places where you can do tastings and events, and we have wine educators. So there's a new wine school. My friend Chelsea Young just opened the Enophile Institute. I love it. Shout out Chelsea. Like there's access to education. There's access to these wines now, and I think it's getting people excited. And that allows people to put on events because guess what? There's going to be people that want to go. Like they want to go, they're going to buy a ticket to an event about wine because they like learning about wine.
And the good restaurants haven't been so shabby in the past. They've had good wine lists.
Yeah.
Pretty decent. You know? I remember being at the Buckhead Grill, and it was excellent. You know?
Ron Bauer for everybody.
Bingo.
It's really fun to hear that you are noticing that. Like I know that like the wines, you can always, a lot of people out here and people have been on the pod, friends of winemakers pod, you can buy direct, you can DTC a lot of the wines. And so when I hear about them and they're not in the market, I'm so glad that I can still just like order and ship to Georgia. Like thank you to everybody who allows for shipping to Georgia. Like it has given me access to small producers when I meet them or find out about them. But what I really like is that there are efforts on the legality side of it to bring those types of wines into the market officially. Like that's happening in Georgia, and that's a collective effort too. I just think it's really neat.
Free the grapes.
Free them all.
Freethegrapes.org.
Freethegrapes.org. Make a donation. Be a member.
Yeah.
That's what keeps that.
Matter of fact,
DTC chain
Kelly,
open.
we're going to give your contact information to freethegrapes.org.
Yes.
Because they're looking for people locally that want to help push the agenda.
I just like the phrase "free the grapes." That sounds that's a yes. That's an obvious yes. I don't know. Yes.
Well, you should look at the website first, but
Okay, well I'll do my research.
But it's an obvious yes. It's an awesome organization that is that really has pushed for the DTC in all the states that that they can and keep it on the agenda and are the lobbying efforts for the small producers and the consumers who dig that against these the lobbying efforts of the big conglomerate distributors who don't want us to ship wine to people.
It's common sense. It's a legal product if
Right.
you're 21 or over, even in some states younger. If you have money and you see a website that has a product on it and you have the money to pay for it, there's no reason why you can't get that shipped to your house. It's moronic. Fucking hate it.
how do you really feel about
Free
it?
the grapes.
Free the grapes.
Free the grapes.
Brian, I need that on your t-shirt. Next time I see you, I want that on your shirt.
You got it.
Okay.
Well, I'm excited to go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Well,
I've only
that's-
flown through.
That's the.
Oh.
Should I just drop?
I got
that?
family all.
All right. Well, you and Paul are going to be our mans in GA. We're finalizing. It's not like 100%, but hopefully by the time the show comes out, we'll be able to
And my uncle's rolling.
distribution in Georgia.
He'll tell us all the good restaurants and
Perfect.
yeah.
No, between Kelly and
Are you kidding?
right?
Yeah,
We got it made.
totally.
Come on down.
16,600.
We'll eat some really good food and we'll drink some really killer wine.
That's pretty much how to get me anywhere. So
Okay, come on over. Wait, I forgot. I left out the tie-dye part. We'll put on tie-dye for you
Okay,
too.
perfect.
Okay, perfect.
I
Good.
mean, it's not a requirement,
It's a
but
suggestion.
it is preferred.
Yes,
Yeah.
as I've noticed. I love it. Yes.
Can we shout out some of the wines we've been sitting here drinking? Sam, you're the only one that can really speak to this.
That's the just bottled 2022 16600 Rosé Agale, 75% Grenache, 25 Mourvedre from the Steel Plow Vineyard.
Freaking delicious.
That Viognier
Pairs with spicy
is
pork
singing.
tacos.
Hell yeah,
Pairs
it does.
with spicy
Yeah,
from the
Al
farmer's
Pastor
market.
is
good.
Oh, so
Yeah.
good.
Steel Plow Viognier is singing right now.
Well, that's actually why Kelly and Ryan are here. This is for the Viognier.
We always come to 16600 for the Viognier. Always.
And
I think I've
Bart-
had you.
I'll be on your show as long as you bring some Viognier.
I also say I'll order your wine if you swap in a Viognier.
Exactly.
That's it. That's happened.
Ryan's
That's
on the
actually
move for
happened.
another glass.
Ryan heard Viognier and he came to the table.
Ryan popped up for the Viognier.
Oh yeah, it's tasting great. Steel Plow Viognier. Bart brought a little 18 Chenin
Let me
Blanc.
try that.
I guess Bart makes Chenin.
Bart, I had no idea. Let me try.
Wait,
Bart,
what?
Chenin Blanc.
Still making it.
Oprah Winfrey loved it.
Poor Oprah.
Yeah, exactly.
Finally, she's gonna catch wind of this.
Right. And then all of a sudden there's going to be a cease and
Right,
desist
cease and-
letter on my front doorstep.
Right. We'll all be in Oprah jail.
just made rosé in our glasses.
And then thank you for bringing the,
Smith Store.
shout out to Allie and Desi at Smith Store. By the way, they're doing a winemaker dinner at the Fairmont this year. I don't know exactly what the date is. It might be May or June or something, but I highly recommend going to that. And we opened up one of the wines
Oh,
from
Maha
Adelaide.
Estate from Chris Cherry, Villa Creek.
So that was
Carignan in there.
Petit Syrah Carignan, and what else is in there?
Too
Mourvedre.
bad.
And Mourvedre that we picked up at
with
Eco
the
Farm.
with the CCOF badge and the Demeter biodynamic certification
Yeah.
on the back. So
Yeah, Chris Cherry just kind of popped up at Eco Farm. I think you came in and I was setting up our table and
he didn't like have a table, right?
no,
he just showed up with wine.
He
And was
goes,
like, "Hey, can
he
I
goes-
pour?"
Yeah, he goes, "You
Yeah.
got any space? Want to pour wine?" I'm like, "No, we have a table."
Right.
But I
We
think
submitted
there's
months
a
ago.
table over there. I haven't seen anyone setting up, so he just went and like
That's so awesome.
set up a table.
I mean, if you got wine and you're willing to give it away,
Nobody cares. It's Eco Farm.
right.
Right.
It's a bunch of,
It's a bunch of organic farmers.
Right.
It's the most fun, least productive wine tasting we do all year. Like nobody's gonna. Maybe some people buy bottles. Okay, some people have come to the tasting room because they taste. But for the most part, it's people who are organic farmers and don't have the finances for buying $50 bottles of wine, but
Right.
are
Yeah.
stoked to be there tasting. It's an
$50
entire
bottles of
room.
wine.
Every bottle in the room has to be from organic grapes.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Speaking of wine dinners, I missed what looked like an amazing one with the Auditet dinner. That I was stalking all the photos because I was very jealous. That looked amazing. Oh my gosh.
We're about to do. You'll probably miss it too.
Oh, thanks.
February 23rd.
Yeah, I won't be here.
All Rossi round two. All Rossi out of Magnums. 16, 17 Homage Blanc Magnums. And then I don't know what Brian's got queued up for the 13, 14, 15 or something like that.
Fun stuff.
Fun stuff.
Adam Magnum's.
And we don't know the menu yet.
So
do
we were
you?
texting earlier. He's working on it right now.
Does the wine dictate the menu or will the food dictate the wine?
Chef was here the other day tasting through the wine. So then he takes notes and then he decides what he's going to do.
Amazing.
But not stuff that's on the normal menu. He likes to do stuff that he doesn't normally get an opportunity to do in the restaurant. So it'll be fun, unique stuff. Yeah. And I gotta
gotta
take
go.
off.
Should we shout out the thing that you're doing?
So I'm heading over to the Fairmont just to go do like a walkthrough because we're doing on April 1st, which is a Saturday, April Fool's Day. Basically a grand tasting of all Rossi wines, farmed by Phil Couturi.
White wine in the morning and red wine.
White wine in the morning, rosé lunch, red wine in the afternoon. Hopefully Bart Hansen will be involved. We haven't.
There's still some hammering out to happen.
Yeah.
But put April 1st on your calendars.
Sounds like it hasn't been cleared yet.
No, it's been cleared. They keep sending me a bill, so I think it's real.
Yeah, but we got to go do like a walkthrough.
What's the date again?
April 1st. April.
Is it really gonna happen, or is it
working
just like
working title April Fool's Day?
April Fool's Day?
Oh my goodness.
That's really good.
It has to happen.
It has to happen because
Marketing geniuses over
because
here.
you have a bill.
Because there's a bill. Because we're pot committed. So it'll be 100 tickets.
Wait, we got to get a picture real quick
Okay.
before.
Some Instagramming. Should we just wrap the show?
Does Ryan want to take the photo for us? That's what I'm here for.
Right? He's the digital
Right?
marketer.
He's the
Stand
digital.
here. You can take it there.
Classic.
We can do it quickly.
Winemaker
We're doing it-
podcast.
We're
We're
Let's-
doing an on-air Instagram
yeah,
photo.
let's-
Oh my gosh!
Live,
All right,
real.
there'll be
Just
like 2
keep-
seconds of silence.
Keep talking so there's not dead air.
All right.
He's working on his phone. He's getting it. Play by play? No. Okay.
Well, this is always fun. I mean, getting a group shot. We don't have enough. So 1, 2, 3.
Can't smile and talk, Ryan. Come on.
I think
You can't laugh, however.
I think he's taking a million.
Are you in portrait mode?
Do a fun one. Do a fun one.
Cheers, baby. Thank you,
He's a
Ryan.
pro.
Much
Can you tell?
appreciated.
Do you think he's a pro? I need him to take that mustard photo. That's what's
Exactly.
gonna happen.
Well,
You
that's-
just saw him.
yeah,
in-
He's now an Instagram.
Did you see how well he did?
Just drive out Highway 12. It's really easy.
Kelly, good to see you. Thank you for everything that you're doing.
Thank you, Brian. It's so
Super
good to
cool.
see you too. And
Yeah.
thanks for what you guys do on the air. It makes me feel connected to California, all the way in Georgia. I get to tune into your show and feel connected. So thank
Awesome.
you. I love,
Love
it.
that.
Love it.
The country of Georgia. Now we
Country
go
of
to
Georgia.
31.
Where winemaking was born.
Oh
All right.
my gosh. Cheers,
Well,
y'all.
Thanks so much, Kelly, for being on the show. We really, truly appreciate it. Do you want to give a shout out for all of your contact information?
Oh, oh gosh, sure. Thanks. I'm kind of in a
You're
beautiful.
on vacation mode.
I'm in vacation mode, but I'm in a dream world because I'm sitting at the podcast table with y'all. It's been awesome. Thank you for having me and geeking out about wines all the time. So I'm A Cork in the Road, at A Cork in the Road on all the socials, www.acorkintheroad.com. I have a newsletter that goes out. I try not to spam people. It's like once or twice a month with like the upcoming events, but there's a lot of things happening in the spring that are more like I don't know, media related. We have the big High Museum wine auction coming up in Atlanta, so a lot of California people will be in town for that. So look me up if you're in town for High Museum. But yeah, I welcome anybody who wants to know what's going on in Atlanta. And then the podcast is A Cork in the Road, and you can find it on all your streaming platforms.
And what other social media do you do?
Really just
On Instagram,
Just Instagram is
Facebook,
kind of my
anything?
focus. Facebook a little bit because I put the events on there.
Well,
And
that's
then,
where boomers get it.
Oh.
So if you want to talk to the real wine drinking audience, that's us.
Noted. Go to Facebook. Okay, got it. No, it's been fun to just connect. Instagram's my favorite because it's super visual, and I like that media outlet for visual at wine tastings. You can also do the audio, and then with the podcast though, that's where it's at. We all know we love that wine podcast world, so
Right.
that's where I put a lot of my time into.
It's a fun thing to do, isn't it?
So fun. So
Yeah.
fun.
Well, much appreciated. Bart, any other shout outs?
No, I think that's it. We've lost half of our staff here.
Well,
but
they had
yeah,
other things to
Yeah,
do. I'll
it's
just
all
say
good.
that.
It's all
Secret
good.
assignments is what we always say.
right.
so.
We always reference those
Yeah.
things. So.
Well, okay, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Winemakers. We will see you next week. Peace and love. We're out.